Trash. Hot garbage. A dumpster fire. The Cleveland Browns are known as the worst franchise in the entire world of sports. But you're watching me for basketball, not football. So who would be the Cleveland Browns of the NBA? And no, it's not the Knicks, so congrats, Spike, you finally got that dub. But the Cleveland Browns of the NBA may not be the team you immediately think of. Not the Brooklyn Nets or the Atlanta Hawks, but a former playoff team that made the Western Conference Finals just a couple years ago. The Memphis Grizzlies. What do Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Rudy Gobert, Hassan Whiteside, and multiple NBA centers have in common? They're all better than Marc Gasol. Well, seriously though, Marc Gasol isn't getting any younger. Being a 33-year-old center in a league where the most athletic big men are popping up that we've seen in decades makes Gasol even less effective than he was. His shooting percentages are consistently down since 2014, and his usage rate is only going up with Mike Conley injured and the next best player hobbled up with injuries to nearly every part of his body.
Take that for data.
What's going on, Chandler Parsons? But Gasol's inability to use his athleticism to his advantage is only going to lower his effectiveness in a league where athleticism is key. But while Gasol isn't the stat stuffer, he does seem to be stuffing his coach's mailbox with a lot of termination letters. But, sorry Fizz. It doesn't help that Marc Gasol isn't a top 10 center anymore. But it certainly doesn't help that he seems to drive coaches out of the Grizzlies locker room. But we'll discuss that a little bit later. Some say Mike Conley is underrated. Some say he's one of the best point guards in the league. I say that he's overpaid and not as good as everybody thinks he really is. Look at the salary and stats of Mike Conley. He's getting paid $30 million for the next 4 years. 30 years old and getting paid $30 million a year. You know who isn't getting paid $30 million? Westbrook isn't getting paid $30 million. Lillard isn't getting paid $30 million. Davis, Giannis, Rudy Gobert, and even Paul George are not getting paid to the equivalent of Mike Conley. And the worst part is that he is locked in for the next 4 years. So the Grizzlies won't be able to get rid of him and his massive contract. Oh yeah, I nearly forgot about that. Conley has a fractured face, he's had foot problems, Achilles problems, groin issues, and he's currently missed the past 4 weeks for the Grizzlies this season. His points per game average is down by 3, his assist numbers are down by nearly 50%, and every single one of his shooting percentages is down within the last 2 years.
Take that for data.
So yes, Mike Conley may be bringing down the Titanic, but this next man may be the iceberg. Porky the Pig, aka the Memphis Grizzlies GM Chris Wallace, has been the GM of the Grizzlies since 2008. And let's say he's had a rocky tenure. He took over after the immortal Jerry West left Memphis in 2007 and chose Mike Conley with the 4th pick in that year's draft. Maybe one of the last good moves he's ever made. Here are just a few of the moves that Wallace has made as GM. He gave away Rudy Gay for a washed-up Jose Calderon, and then traded Calderon for a even more washed-up Tayshaun Prince. Then he traded Prince and a future first-round pick to Boston for Jeff Green, who would later be cut by the Grizzlies. In 2015, they waived All-Star Hassan Whiteside. 2014, they released good role player Michael Beasley. They gave up the rights in the draft to now starter James Johnson. They traded for Fab Melo, who would be cut 10 days later. They waived Allen Iverson. They traded away Courtney Lee for a second-round pick, and they even gave up the chance to sign All-Star Kyle Lowry to a contract. The worst of them all, the one that cements Chris Wallace as one of the worst GMs in this league, Mr. Chandler Parsons, a player who barely averaged 17 points a game for all of his previous career, to a $94 million contract over 4 years. He's only played 30% of the games in the first 2 years of that contract, and he's only averaged 10 points a game. That means Chandler Parsons is being paid $2.4 million for every point he has made. That did say enough, but Jolly Chris Wallace has saved the best gift for last.
Take that for data.
Carousels are supposed to be fun, right? You get on the ride and you go around and you stare at the lights and the pretty pictures. But a coaching carousel, as known by the NBA and all major sports, is not exactly the best thing to be related to. Under Chris Wallace, the Grizz have had 7 different coaches in the last 10 years. Mike Fratello, who had a winning record in 3 seasons, was fired. Tony Barone, who lost 20 more games than he won in a single season with Memphis, fired. Mark Averoni, who had a winning percentage of 26% in 3 seasons with the Grizzlies. The infamous Johnny Davis, who actually lasted 2 games as Grizzlies head coach, he lost both and he was fired. Lionel Hollins, who not only brought the Grizzlies to the playoffs, but to the Western Conference Finals, and whose contract extension, 20% less than the average coaching contract of today, was not picked up after nearly getting to the NBA Finals. And then the two most recent, Dave Yeager, who had a near 60% win percentage and was not picked up by Chris Wallace. And the man who got screwed even more than the rest, David Fizdale, Mr. Take That for Data. He was brought in to change the culture of the Grizzlies, to change them from a more grit and grind to something that could compete in the NBA today. Shooting, ball movement, and defense. But we see how the Grizzlies operate. They valued that apparently Fizdale was a little too tough on one Marc Gasol, and that the Grizzlies weren't willing to put the future of their franchise in exchange for a somewhat washed-up center that can't compete with the top centers of this year. The Duck Duck Goose system for head coaches by Chris Wallace is a driving factor on how the Grizzlies are going deeper into the grave. And with new coach JB Bickerstaff in charge, it looks like the Grizzlies will not be the junkyard dogs, but the garbage that is found within them. Good luck to JB Bickerstaff, and good hope and good luck for the entire Grizzlies fan base. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know I took some shots at the Grizzlies, but I hope that I could have a conversation with you guys in the comments defending my position, and I would love to hear what you guys have to think about the Grizzlies situation. No offense was made, no offense was meant to any of the players in this. I'm just saying my opinion, and that is exactly what this video was, an opinion of mine on how the Grizzlies are looking for the next couple years. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like if you like this video. Be sure to subscribe for more NBA videos, and I'll see you next time.